This is a 1997, they call it a 98, Mercury 25 horse, long shaft 2-stroke. Customers having running issues with it, couldn't keep it running. These ones are weird. As the thermostat opens up, it'll flow water, and then when it cools back down, it'll kind of trickle. And then once it warms up, it'll flow water good again and kind of go back and forth like that on these engines. Got a little bit of a water leak around the head. That won't really affect the cylinders because on these engine blocks, when you remove this, somebody used black RTV crap on it, you can see. But when you remove these, it still has, it just shows you the water passageways around the head. You can't see the head of the front of the piston or anything like that when you remove them. You can tell that somebody's put a bolt or screw or something all the way through this, all the way through, back in there. I gotta be careful because I got a flywheel turning right next to me. Long story short, I checked the spark, checked the compression, both of those were good. I put new spark plugs in them, got them prior to install. The gear oil was black, I replaced that. Well, I had to check the spark and compression by pull starting it. His battery, both batteries are dead, and so I wasn't able to crank it over. But even after mostly charging these batteries, the engine won't crank over with this key. So I'm using my harness connection with the key switch to start it and run it because his isn't working. I'll show that real quick. Disconnect mine, plug in his. Bear with me, I only got one hand. His is plugged in. Nothing. I tried seeing if there's anything with the neutral safety switch. I tried to hold the key in the crank position while moving this the shifter around. It didn't do anything, so I'm using my key switch because his isn't doing anything. I'll chat with him to see if he wants me to dig further in that side of things. But another thing that I found was that this star solenoid is aftermarket. It was just tucked in there, nothing holding it to the engine block or anything. So I ended up flattening out these, whatever you want to call them, tabs or whatever. And I found a bolt with the same thread and did that. Yeah. What else? This thing doesn't work. It's broken off and somebody's, I don't know, that should just be removed. I went through the fuel water separating filter, a little bit of stuff in there, but not too bad. And then I went through the carburetor. The primer diaphragm was shot. So went to the carb, disassembled it, inspected it, cleaned it, put a new carb kit, fuel pump kit, and choke primer kit in it, put it back together. Went to go start it after charging the batteries and stuff, and mostly charging the batteries. And like I said, it won't crank over with the key. I thought that the issue was because the batteries are dead and that's the issue was, but no, something going on with this key switch. Reconnecting mine. That's just how these are. Like I said, once the thermostat opens up, it'll flow, and then once it closes, it'll do this again and keep going back and forth. Obviously, when you're hauling ass, it's a more consistent flow because it's working harder. I have this disengaged right now to give it throttle without shifting it. back in the neutral position, put it in reverse. Reverse. Put it back, it's back in neutral. Move forward. Back in neutral. So besides his key switch not working, everything else is working good. Yeah, I'll chat with the customer, see if he wants me to figure out what's going on with his stuff in there, and then kind of go from there on it.